Okay, I've got a question. What do the Yule Lads, Icelandic culture, and a compass from mom have in common?
Well, somehow, believe it or not, they are all key plot points in 2024's Hallmark movie, The Christmas Quest. And we've got a lot to talk about, Josh.
We do, Jennifer, and we will unwrap it all for you on this episode of Do You Watch What I Watch?
Sit down and watch, then have a talk with Jennifer and Josh.
Okay, so we did not officially draft this particular movie when we were picking the movies we were going to do full recaps and reviews on, but we came up with an idea because there were just so many that we wanted to do. So we're calling this a Merry and Bright highlight, basically a shorter episode where we're going to talk about the highs, the lows that might exist, and give you our bottom line hot take on whether we think it is worth your time, Jennifer.
That's right. And shout out to listener Mackie for giving us the idea for the Merry and Bright highlight. Trademark it. We love it. Okay, so here's the plot summary of A Christmas Quest. An archaeologist, her ex-husband, who is a Norse language expert. These are terribly written. Okay. An archaeologist and her ex-husband, who is a Norse language expert, search for legendary treasure in Iceland during Christmas. Others join the hunt, leading to a thrilling race to secure the treasure before the wrong people obtain it. Dun dun dun. Okay, Josh, so right out of the gate, what are you thinking about this movie? It has Kristoffer Polaha, Lacey Chabert. They've never been leads together in a movie, so two of Hallmark's heavy hitters. What are you thinking?
Well, that was surprising to me that this is the first time we've seen them together because they have both been around the block. And let me just say, it is very clear that these two actors know exactly what they're doing when they hit the set in a Hallmark movie. There is no hesitation. I found every line, every gesture, every glance was just exactly what you would think it would be. These guys are total pros through and through, and I thought that they delivered on what I thought was a pretty interesting, compelling plot here. What did you think?
I think so too. So this movie is very different in a lot of ways in that the way it's shot is a little different. And so basically, Lacey Chabert's character, her mom was an archaeologist, and that's passed down to her, and she wants to finish her mom's quest to find the treasure in Iceland, right? And she's like, you know who I know some guy is I don't even know who he was. Some guy at the school she worked with was like, I will sponsor you kind of to go do this mission. And so she brings in her ex-husband to help, and at first he's like, "Nah, girl, we're divorced." And then Polaha is like, "Okay, I'm charming. Yes, we can work together." And off they go, and they go to all these different places. Um, it's not it's people were saying it's not Christmassy. I don't think it's not Christmassy. It's just Christmassy in Iceland. It's not American overly commercialized Christmas holly jolly holiday, but it is I really enjoyed learning more about their culture and, um, experiencing that part of the world because it was shot there. A lot of this movie was actually shot on site. It was beautiful, really pretty.
Definitely pretty and a different kind of story than we're used to seeing from Hallmark. And they put a lot of promotional bandwidth behind this one. This was another one of these sort of heavy hitters that they've really invested in. And you can tell why, because it is a different kind of story. It has such high caliber actors in it. And it sort of has like a different flavor. I found myself
Mhm.
sort of really buying the adventure of it all, the quest of it all. And so it was exciting. And I think at
Yeah.
points there were moments of peril, as we like to say, BMOPs throughout the whole
Just
night.
brief, the briefest moments of peril. That's
The briefest, of course, because we only have an hour and some odd minutes. We can't have too much peril because we still have to have a romance develop the whole 9 years. But
right.
it still, I think, worked from start to finish, and I liked the way that they developed their relationship throughout, and I think some of the criticism around this one, that it's basically a ripoff on what is it, National Treasure? A lot of people are
Indiana
saying.
Jones,
Yeah, that
100%
kinda
that,
thing.
and Da Vinci Code, any of those kind of movies.
Yeah, and there are those elements there, but I gotta give them credit because this isn't just a rinky-dink kind of Icelandic tradition that they tried to tie this whole thing to. They really, you can tell, did their research and did their whole 9 yards to basically piece it together in a way that felt really believable, and I just gotta give credit to these actors. They were spouting these Icelandic, Nordic names like it was just John Smith, and there would be no way that I could
Okay,
do that.
it just flowed effortlessly. Right, yeah. No, I really liked that. The Yule Lads themselves, so it's all about the story of the Yule Lads. The Yule Lads creep me out, like, just the way they were drawn in the storybook and kind of the caricatures of them gives me the heebie-jeebies, but I appreciated what they were doing with it, and I wasn't bored. A lot of people said they were bored with it and there wasn't enough adventure. I thought there was enough. I thought it was adequate amount. I mean, it's not like again, they only have a certain amount of time, and it's not trying to be some big blockbuster movie, but I think for what it was, it checked my boxes. I was entertained the whole time.
Throughout, yeah.
So then it's like this whole, "Are they gonna get back together?" thing because 'cause they're working so close to each other. Then at one point, well, you know, Kristoffer Polaha looks over and Lacey Chabert's phone's lighting up. She still has their picture as the background on her phone. How long have they been divorced? Years, right?
I don't think it was years. I think there had been a
Oh, okay.
reference to a shorter time period that they have been
Okay.
divorced, yeah. But, yeah, I thought that that was very interesting. I like that as a plot point because that was basically his in to be like, "Okay, I have these feelings, and clearly she might still as well," and I think that was really a
Yeah.
good way to kinda have that turn of the page for their relationship, and it was nice to see that sort of develop in that way, and they got thrown together in Iceland because the guy who set up this whole trip, spoiler alert, he turns out to not necessarily be in it for the right reasons at the end of the day, and so they sort of have some conflict and have to come together to overcome that at the end, which I thought was really sort of a nice thing that it wasn't just them coming together again, it was them coming together for a specific purpose together,
Yeah.
which I thought was really nice. But they were put up in this very swanky, I thought, Icelandic hotel, apartment, flat, something
Very
like that.
modern, sleek.
Very
Yeah,
modern,
very nice.
very sleek. So there was that element. Later on, they run into some folks. Perhaps the most bonkers piece of this is that they happen to find a cat and then take the cat back to the people who owned the cat. And, you know, if this were to happen in American culture, you would drop the cat off at the front door and you would be like, thanks, have a great day. And they'd be like, oh, that was so sweet of you. Thank you. Have a good day. Not in Iceland, apparently, because these people wound up spending hours there making bread, having dinner, decorating the Christmas tree. By the end of the day, they were practically family.
Yeah, it was very sweet, but also so not relatable from what we're used to. But
Yeah.
then I did like that because I was wondering, like, are those people somehow do they know more about this whole quest than they're letting on or whatever? And not really, but we do see them again at this big gala at the end where they're trying to find a piece of the puzzle, a clue for the quest. And I did like that they popped back up because Kristoffer Polaha and Lacey Chabert were kind of having this different identity to get into this gala, but then this other couple was kind of ratting them out. It was a whole thing. So I thought that was really fun. I liked the clues. I liked seeing how they were kind of trying to figure it all together, figure it all out and piece it together. What did you think about the culmination of this quest? The final, you know, is some big treasure is what they were chasing after, but they weren't in it for the money. Lacey Chabert was really in it to finish her mom's journey. The bad guy was wanting it because there was presumably like Jafar's cave of, you know, mysteries of like all this, you know, gold lamps or whatever, you know, money, money, money is what you are led to believe. And then the reveal of what it was. What did you think?
Yeah, for me, it was a skosh of a letdown, if I'm completely honest. I was sort of expecting something altogether different, and it was not at all what I expected. And I see what they were trying to do, right? They were trying to bring it back into the Hallmark realm and less in the adventure realm. Did it work entirely for me? Maybe. I don't think so, but I don't know. What did you think?
I mean, it basically ends in like the storm cellar of the church where they started this whole thing. And they open the door somehow, you know, whatever. It's like a big old escape room. They open the door and it's creepy Yule Lad figurines. It's like a bad Christmas. It's like if you go to TJ Maxx in January and it's whatever is left over from Christmas stuff that nobody wanted in their house. So it's like 99% off. That's all around. There's bread, like whatever the special Icelandic bread was. L- Lights are on.
How?
Full electricity.
Candles?
Candles are burning. They're, precious scene. But yeah, who did that? Then you hear creepy, like laughter from, I guess, the ghost of the Yule Lads. And then she finds a compass that that was her mom's. And then she left, her mom had left a letter thinking Lacey Chabert would one day be back there. Like, basically, she'd already solved the quest, but left it there for Lacey Chabert to find on her own later.
Yeah.
So it's nothing of monetary value, which is fine. I'm fine if it was, like, I would like it more, I think, if it was nothing of monetary value, but sentimental. I like that part. But what it was and how is there lighting? What is happening? Like, did one of the Yule Lads rig it up to be on an Alexa? Like, they're, just hanging out in the bushes and they just turn on the lighting before somebody cracks the code? I was very confused
Well, apparently
by
these
it.
Yule Lads were just ahead of their time. They were very Elon Musk about having, solar power potentially or wind energy, something or other to power all of the lights and candles and whatnot. And why is the bread not moldy or have decimated? I know.
It looked very fresh. It
I
looked
had
fresh.
questions. I had questions on the back end of that scene.
I think that was a universal topic. Even if whether people liked it or not, the ending was, and maybe it was supposed to be, but it was a conversation piece because it was not what I thought it was going to be. But anyways, they end up getting back together and they're going to be in love forever. And, there you go. So, what are some other things that stood out to you that we haven't talked about yet? Anything else?
I think that pretty much gets it for me in terms of what stood out. I really didn't have anything that was altogether negative about this. I thought it was pretty enjoyable from start to finish, a different kind of movie, like I said. And I think that this would be one, I honestly think, that a lot of guys might actually enjoy watching with their wives. This would be a good one for a couple to watch together because I think the guy might actually enjoy this more than they might enjoy some of these on Hallmark Channel.
I could see that. And back to, Keith Nielsen did the costuming for it. And that ball gown that Lacey Chabert's in during the gala is breathtaking. But I think he also did just their like everyday adventure outfits, which were very cute. Like, if I was in Iceland traipsing around Yule Lad territory, I would look like the abominable snowman. I would have like layers and look a hot mess. But the way he had them fitted, they still looked like sexy Hallmark people. It was very impressive. They looked warm enough, but also it was fitted well,
Yeah.
which is
And
what you want.
sexy Hallmark would be, in this context, it's like Lara Croft, but dialed back a little bit. Lara Croft in a pea coat would be kind of what we're going.
Coverage. Yeah. Not sexy like other channels. It's not va va voom, but it was just like attractive, maybe is a
Yes.
better word.
Yes. Like
They looked
clearly we are movie
great.
stars here.
They looked
Yes.
great together. Yeah. I thought it was really fun. It was different. Is it one I'm going to watch every year forever and ever? Probably not. But it was a good movie. Like you said, there wasn't really anything I can think that was bad about it. So if we had to rate it, do you think we dig it or is it better off buried?
For me, it's an absolute we dig it because I think that it was fun, it was different, it was compelling, and it was beautiful. You said it earlier. The way they shot this thing and the production value, they clearly invested a lot of money to do it right. And it's clear throughout. And I think that that just makes it a better film.
Yeah. I agree. We dig it. Totally. So if you're interested in watching it, give it a run and give us a shout and let us know what you think. Well, that, friends, is another episode of Do You Watch What I Watch?
The Merry and Bright edition. So stay tuned.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
A
right.
special thanks to Nick Shores for our amazing theme song, as always, and to each and every one of you. We really do appreciate it for taking the time to listen on your favorite podcast platform or watch us on our YouTube channel.
That's right. So the next episode, we are going to go to Hallmark Mystery Channel for 2024's movie, A Dance in the Snow. And here is the synopsis from IMDb. Melanie's autistic daughter, Jenny, a high school senior, plans her own party with friends while Melanie works with Jenny's teacher to create an inclusive school dance leading to romantic. Did I have my
Something
copies?
or other.
Leading to romantic is what IMDb says. Just leading to romantic. Well, we're going to have a lot to talk about. Until then,
May your days be merry and bright. We'll see you soon.